From the very beginning of its existence, humankind has gazed at the sky while carrying that ancient question in mind: are we alone in this vast universe? In both cases, this question, which is frightening, has overcome the fear of each dam with the desire to wonder and explore that the person does not end. From the moment we find the first opportunity, we look long to the depths of the universe, allowing other lives from us. From the first telescopes that Galileo discovered, the first orbit satellites, James Webb Telescope is the most advanced cosmic review, up to the FAST station located in half a kilometer in China. We are looking for a sign from the dark universe. With all the amenities we have, we are going to follow a single light that shows we are not alone. However, there is a nice idiom: if you look at the darkness for a long time, a day he looks at you. Who knows, perhaps a foreign guest who comes in exceptional conditions to our system. She took the first look from the darkness. You are facing facts. Welcome. High outfit peak music, a 3-wide atlas or 3 UNC stars entering our solar system unexpectedly in 2025. In fact, it is not the first unusual situation that mankind encounters. Our first encounter with the eyes in the depths of darkness is based on many others. Before proceeding to your location, remember to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and jump like. Year 1977, a hot August night in Ohio, astronomer Jerry Emmon, who is one of the most advanced radio telescopes of that period, is a usual radio signal when examining hundreds of meters long outputs recorded by listening to the space of telescope, one of the biggest mystery in writer and astronomy, as well as the signal as an instinctive response without even what to write with excitement. This signal, which lasts for full 72 seconds, is detected in the frequency of 14,456,45556 MHz, namely hydrogen line. This frequency emits hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe, is considered a universal communication channel for radio astronomers. If you want to send greetings to one of the smart civilizations like us, this may manifest itself by using this frequency in the universe full of intense parasitic. The bandwidth of the signal is 10 kHz, which is quite narrow. This was an artificially produced carrier wave rather than natural formations. But it was only a one-time signal that makes W2's signal mysterious. One of the Sankey Spring Team star region, with its latest powers, the universe had a message in a bottle of endless depth, and we captured that message accidentally. But the most powerful radio telescopes in the world lost and gone in the eternality of the message. Space until it was focused on him, and the signal from the source ended forever. Years passed. In addition to organizations that have been established in order to investigate extraterrestrial life, many countries and hundreds of scientists have continued to scan space to find a response or lifestyle symptoms. In 2015, Tabata Bojan, who studied the data of NASA's Kepler Space Telescope, made an interesting discovery. KIC 84628552 coded star in the Coral Star, 1470 light-year from the world, was observed an interesting light surge. Normally, star lights have strange fluctuations in close to their deaths while being extremely stable. But here was different. A planet reduces the light usually by 1% when it passes through a star. However, the decline occurred in this star was 22% and completely irregular. This anomalies brought the theory of Dyson sphere or Dyson, the first American theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson revealed in the science world. These theoretical structures meant that highly developed civilizations reaching the Type 2 levels were equipped with billions of power stations to gather energy around the star in their systems. This dense structure caused serious fluctuations in the light of the stars naturally. The star has been observed for years, and the most likely explanation was concluded that a tailful star around the star or a large moon can be a dense layer of dust resulting from fragmentation. This was because the infrared light could pass through that mysterious layer, despite the reduction of visible light. However, the possibility of Dyson sphere or a lot is not completely ejected. The probability of being a scheme that science people build a developed civilization there is still 5%. Our telescopes had an unexpected development in October 2017. Trying to search a civilization in the far away of our solar system. When we think about how we can take humankind to endless depths of life. He came from the depths to our guest foot, and everything was lower. The only thing from cosmos was not mysterious signals, but sometimes the unexpected sky objects continued to surprise us through the scene. A beautiful example of this appeared in the solar system of an interesting object, which was learned to be the first visitor of humanity in October 2017. This object was named Oumuamua. To this object, this name, which stands for intentional messenger in Hawaii language, was discovered when approaching the sun and attracted everyone attention with its unique features. Oumuamua had an unusual long and fine jersey with about 400 meters long and 40 meters wide. No known asteroid or comety stars weren't having a pronounced structure. Also, the telescope observations made what shows a marked gas powder tail, such as a tailed star, nor chemical traces were detected. Oumuamua, which was originally classified as asteroid, was then taken into the category of comety stars due to a slight deviation seen in orbit and a mysterious movement. Because this little push was able to open the object by evaporating ice from the sun, but the classic tailed star symptoms were still not available. This situation caused many speculations about the nature of Oumuamua, and at this point, the world met astrophysicist Avi Loeb, which has a successful and highly effective career at Harvard University. Loeb and colleague Shimo Beeley developed an unusual hypothesis to explain the unusual properties of Oumuamua. Perhaps this object was a fine, structured light sail time 400 mamus, until it could move with the effect of sunlight. The Loeb and his team took forward that it could be a space trash that lost its function, sent by a remote civilization. For example, there was a possibility of being a light sailing part or an active discovery tool. However, this is a rather radical claim and led to live discussions naturally in the science world. Although Loeb does not have a certain judgment, he argued that the likelihood of being a foreign spacecraft is worth considering, and he noted that existing natural scenarios remain insufficient to explain the anomalies in Oumuamua. A big cut of science glass was more cautious, and they started to make more traditional comments compared to the explanations proposed by Loeb for Oumuamua. A team led by Stephen Dash and Alan Time, 400ms, Jackson from Arizona State University, showed that in detailed calculations they made, this mysterious object could be a Pluton-like planet which belongs to another solar system. According to this theory, Oumuamua can be a piece that flews from the surface of a planet as a result of a collision about 500 million years ago and may be thinner and flattened over time due to cosmic beam erosion. It was calculated that steaming as it came to the sun because it was formed from nitrogen, and it could not leave a trace that appears behind. During that time, the media had made many news that the alien ship came, but this interesting object that enters our silent system suddenly disappeared as it enters our lives by continuing its way without being asked the world. Yet this time we have a great mystery of structural and behaviorally. We met Atlas, which is the third stars in our system. Atlas Telescope in Rio Hurtado region in Chile on July 1, 2025 detected a pale light spot moving deep space. It was understood that this object, which was originally labeled by A11PL3Z temporary code, was not an ordinary asteroid in a short time, because the orbital and speed couldn't look like any object we've seen before. Astronomers faced with a surprising reality when the parameters of the image are calculated. Sysman's external center had a big value of 1 about 614. The external center in the sky is between 0 and 1. The objects are drawn from elliptical orbits and depends on the sun. Those equal to 1 parabolic, those older than 1 hyperbolic orbits. However, Atlas's 614 outer center was mathematically certainly proved that it was not connected to its sun, and a visitor that goes to the eternality. The third stars discovered after Oumuamua and 2 Borsov made a quick entry to our lives as an object, really quickly, like 60 km per hour. But there are some interesting abnormalities that allow this Sysman to arrive on the agenda. For example, Hubble Space Telescope, who followed the object in August 2025, detected that the Sysman creates a tail in front of him, not behind or next to the sun. Normally stars create a dust tail behind asteroid, with evaporation of substances frozen in their interior as they approach the Sun. But in Atlas, this tail went straight, not back. A Sankey spacecraft seemed to open reverse, push motors to reduce speed, but the eyes began to increase where unexpected situations will decrease, as they focus on the object. And once again from Harvard University, the professor, A.V. Loeb, who built his career on the research of extra life. While the Loeb team examines the movements of Three-Eyed Atlas, they indicated that the object increases its speed as it approaches to the Sun and stems from normal mass-shot orbit. Interestingly, like 3 Atlas is expected to be almost 10 kilometers from an extremely large seismon. It is necessary to leave a huge dust cloud behind for such acceleration. But asteroid, as if it is not a natural satellite, as well as a highly efficient technological motor, even literally an ion engine was given the route by leaving a very little trace compared to the mass. This claim is not accidental if it comes to agenda. Three-Eyed Atlas observed that the color normally red should be turned into blue as it approaches to the Sun. More accurately, the dust emitted in blue. The reason why this condition is unusual is that blue glow is revealed at very high temperatures in our advanced engines. However, Atlas started to exhibit such a glare even at 1 to 34 units to the Sun. A unit refers to about 150 million kilometers distance between the Sun and the Earth. Calculations were made accordingly. In addition to all these unusual events, a Velo app once again announced that Atlas's initial orbit, based on the orbit calculations they've made on the scene previously mentioned, discovered that W signal from 1977 was the source. Here was this statement that events have a peak point. Many years ago, one of the most interesting mystery of human history, the source of the 00 signal, acting extremely fast, changing its awkward speed and determining the route, and an object that cannot be explained by blue lights. Anomalies had an unexpected development at a time when they were overlapped into NASA, and the American government was closed because the budget draft was not approved, and after this closure things began to be mixed. NASA's detailed data has a huge lack of information when cut at once, and it's known that the universe fills these gaps. But here, unfortunately, the plot of the plot began to dramatically fill the theories of the conspiracy, and they mixed the environment by sharing the so-called telescope images made with artificial intelligence. People who share on X and Reddit platforms in early November claimed that they detected regular pulses with Fibonacci array in 1420 minutes frequency from Atlas. When the message is decrypted, agreed, prepared, understood, waiting for the door, many people in various forums and YouTube channels are turning to the old gods in the work by combining the topic of A.V. Loeb and ancient civilizations, and they started to produce contents in the form of the era of enlightenment. Some people have started to share strange content under the name 3 Atlas Manifestation. I'm really congratulation. An incident can be withdrawn to this endpoint. Fortunately, on November 12, the American government was reopened, and the reviews of the institutions began to flow rapidly. Of course, the data from the observation systems of other countries began to go through a large plot. A company radio telescope, located in South Africa's Tile Desert, began to follow Three-Eyed Atlas with 64 strings. The team at the leadership of Professor Pisano reviewed Atlas and identified cool lines at the frequency of 1665 GHz, unlike claims on the internet. So the thermal expansion of the seismon, 43 degrees, were operating. This explains whether it is a bit away from the Sun, and it proves that frosts were melted in the seismon. So Atlas was not a spacecraft covered with silver, but found the water stuck in it, and it was a sky seisme that gently shakes them. This mild evaporation also explains the small deviations in the seismon orbit, because the same situation was experienced in the absence. Inverted direction, the dust release incident was not the reverse motor push as A.V. Loeb's claim. A 3 Atlas leaves plenty of granular powders with about 100 micrometer in orbit. Solar radiation pressure pushed away fine powders, while creating normal tail, heavy and airy grains were hanging on orbit because the body is big. In the world, we've seen this heavy powder stack as they've stretched towards the Sun with the influence of perspective due to a specific angle to the seismon orbit plane. If we come to the blue color event, this is not caused by a plasma engine. The tail came from the gas-dominant structure. Seismin visible light. The fine amount of dust that reflects red and yellow color was very little. Despite this, plenty of cyanogens and diatomic carbon springs were understood. These gases perform fluorescence, glow in blue and green colors under sunlight. Due to the small amount of fine powder, this blue gas radiation cannot be hidden by red color. Therefore, we observed Seismi blue in a shining way. The knowledge of the W2 signal from the Q team star is not correct. Even, the probability that this comes from the Hercule team star looks much stronger, because these two teams are dramatically different in the sky of the star. 3 Eyes Atlas is probably thought that our galaxy is called the thick disk. That is from the area where there are old stars, and this can explain its high speed. We are talking about a region where there are stars with over 7 billion years. There may be the ruins of the planets around with exceptional speeds with the explosion of a star that has completed its life. This is a great way to Atlas, but it's a way to explain why Atlas is so fast. However, all this does not change the fact that it is an insignificant rock part. Yes, maybe not a spacecraft, perhaps 3 Eyes Atlas manifestation, such as YouTube channels, will not open the doors of the upper size. But the presence of passengers in this kind of stars, and especially the possibility of carrying water, is extremely important for scientists researching how life can be started in our world. Because of such asteroids, perhaps the basic components of life in the cores of ice can be moved to us billions of years from those shredded planets, and when they hit the world, it could lead to the start of life in the waters of the planet. This is one of the most likely life source theories currently. So, in this case, we are looking for space in depths in continuous phase. But if one day this theory is verified, then the real aliens in this world will be understood that we are. Thank you for watching video. Always remember to progress with logic and science on such topics. Time, 300s. Do not cover the imagination or artificial intelligence images on forums. Already, those looking for aliens are very governments from all. Every year, millions of dollars are spent on these observations. So, if such a situation really arises, we'll be able to report these reports from hundreds of people instead of AV. They came up for each star who appears in space. Thank you for your watch. If you still haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe with the subscriber button at the bottom.